everyone. We are Group 8 and we will discuss Republic Act 7877 on Anti-Sexual Harassment Act of 1995. So I am Maria Shane S. Marquez and I will discuss what sexual harassment is. Republic Act 7877, an act declaring sexual harassment unlawful in the employment, education, training environment, and for other purposes, was approved on February 14, 1995 and became effective on March 5, 1995. 15 days after its publication in the Malaya and Times Journal on February 18, 1995. Sexual harassment is the act of demanding, requesting, requiring sexual people from another, whether accepted or not, by a person who has authority, influence, or moral ascendancy, in the workplace, educational, or training environment. So next, what is sexual harassment? Under Republic Act 7877 is committed. From that definition of sexual harassment, it is committed in workplace, in educational or training environment. Now, where can be there sexual harassment? There can be sexual harassment when the offender and the offended party are related to each other, as employer to employee, teacher to student, trainer to trainee, or other setup where a person has authority, influence, or moral ascendancy over the other person in workplace, educational, or training environment.
In the Republic Act Anti-Sexual Harassment Act of 1955, there is a section 3 which talks about the school anti-sexual harassment. It talks about how we can have a rights as a student to avoid getting sexually harassed from our teachers or professors. Now let's give one example. This is a very common example in the school regarding sexual harassment, where most of the male teachers or professors are forcing their students to have a sexual intercourse with them for their students to have a passing grades. And if we acknowledge this kind of behavior to our male professors or teachers, we can always tell it to the principals of the school or even in our parents for them to help us make our professors or teachers guilty to their wrongdoings. In these cases, we can avoid and protect ourselves from getting sexually harassed.
Sexual harassment at work is committed when, first, the sexual harassment is made as a condition in the hiring or in the employment or continued employment of said individual, or in granting said individual favorable compensations, terms, conditions, promotions, or privileges, or refusal to grant the sexual favor results in limiting, segregation, or classifying the employee which in any way would discriminate, deprive, or diminish employment opportunities or otherwise adversely affect said employee. Second, the above acts would impair the employee's rights or privilege under existing labor law. Third, the above acts would result in an intimidating, hostile, or offensive environment for the employee. Here are some examples of sexual harassment at work: sexual remarks, unwelcome touching, staring or leering, unwanted invitations to go out on dates, requests for sexual intercourse, insults or taunts based on sex, sexual harassment in the community. Here are some examples of sexual harassment in the community: unwanted touching, making comments or jokes of sexual nature, showing or sending pornographic pictures, email, text, or other messages with sexual contents, repeated requests for dates, questions or comments about a person's sexual activity. These behaviors are considered are considered sexual harassment if they make the other persons feel scared or upset, and it's reasonable for them to feel that way. It doesn't matter whether the behavior was meant as a harassment or whether it was meant as a compliment or as a joke.
September 8, Thursday, a student in the Dumaguete City who was about to enter a coffee shop was sexually harassed by a man who suddenly grabbed her. The girl ran away, but she didn't expect the man to chase her and grab her in her private area before running away. Fortunately, the Dumaguete police arrested the suspect who has committed many criminal offenses before, and there are also some people who have experienced sexual harassment with the same guy. Another news is about the 6 teachers in Cavite who were allegedly accused of sexual harassment. One of the students at Bacoor National High School spoke about their experiences with their teacher. He said that the teacher made him and his classmates wear tight-fitting shorts for the performance task, but they will feel uncomfortable because they felt exposed. The student also recalls some incidents where the teacher behaved inappropriately, such as talking about having sexual intercourse with students in the classroom and the unwanted physical contact. The subtle touches not on private parts but other parts of the body. A social media post that called out the teachers at Bacoor National High School for alleged sexual exploitation and other inappropriate behavior toward the students went viral, and many students and alumni shared their own experiences of how their teachers sexually harassed them.
Sexual harassment causes a tense and inefficient working and learning environment. Victims of sexual harassment can suffer different kinds of psychological effects such as depression, anxiety, headaches, sleep disorders, weight loss or gain, lowered self-esteem, and sexual dysfunction. In work-related, employees can experience job loss, decreased job satisfaction, and loss of relationship with coworkers. When it comes to education, students may feel pressured to drop a class, change their major or minor, and experience physical and psychological disorders. Under the Republic Act 7877, all forms of sexual harassment in the employment, educational, or training environment are hereby declared unlawful. In this act, the head of work-related, educational, or training environment or institution must provide the procedures for the resolution, settlement, or prosecution of acts of sexual harassment. Any person, whatever gender it is, who violates the provision of this act be penalized by imprisonment of not less than 1 month nor more than 6 months, or fine of not less than 10,000 pesos nor more than 20,000 pesos, or both such fine and imprisonment at the discretion of the court. RA 7877 gives victims of sexual harassment a freedom to have separate and independent action for damages caused by harasser. Republic Act No. 7877 or Anti-Sexual Harassment Act of 1995 aims to ensure that the work-related, education, and training environment are free from intimidation, hostility, and sexual harassment.